Welcome to Channel Japan. I'm Mai Demizu.
And I'm Makiko Tsuda.
Every week, we bring you the freshest information out of Japan from a studio here in Tokyo.
From the economy to culture and even foods, if you want to find out what's happening in Japan right now, this is where you'll find it.
And these are our topics for today. From World Business Satellite, Japan's struggling forestry industry pursues new strategies to get growing again.
Also from World Business Satellite, Japanese society is seen from a height of 106 centimeters.
From Takumi, a report on research into the highly complex technology of ultraviolet LEDs.
And in Dream Weavers, a metal workshop in downtown Tokyo that's wowing the world with its exquisite craftsmanship.
So let's get started. First, we have a report from TV Tokyo's World Business Satellite.
Yes, and we'll be looking at Japan's forestry industry. I have a graph over here showing changes in Japan's forest area, and about 25 million hectares are forest.
Well, looking at the graph, it seems that the forest area hasn't changed in the past 40 years.
You're right. Now, we have a different graph showing forest growing stock in Japan, and as you can see, it's continuing to increase.
So the forest area isn't increasing, but the growing stock is. Why is that?
Yes, well, under an afforestation policy in Japan after the Second World War, trees were planted across the country to produce lumber, and many of them are just now entering the felling period. But because of lower-priced imported lumber, Japan's forestry resources are often left untouched.
So much woods that's just left to rot. What a waste.
I agree, and forests are a sustainable resource that can be passed on from generation to generation. So as long as they're properly managed, and that becomes difficult unless mature trees are felled to make way for new ones.
Well, I'm sure some people might think that since there's such an abundance, leaving the forest as they are is better.
Well, that may be true in terms of supply, but tree growth also has another major benefit. And compared to mature trees, younger trees grow much faster and absorb more carbon dioxide.
So you're saying cutting down older trees and planting new ones can help reduce CO2?
Exactly. And fortunately, many forests haven't been managed properly and can be seriously damaged. And if there's a torrential rain, for example, landslides can occur more easily because the trees aren't firmly rooted.
So in a sense, we need to more proactively use domestic lumber and use the revenue to feed the forest.
That's right. And unlike tropical rainforest overseas, the forests of Japan need to be protected by felling and replanting trees. And we have a report on what's being done right now to address this issue. So take a look.
Gifu Prefecture. With 80% of the land covered by forests, the region boasts some of the biggest forestry resources nationwide. Most are privately owned forests that governments at the national and local level can't touch. This snow-covered forest is one of those. Takefu Nakahara has been running a forestry business for more than 30 years.
I haven't touched this place in 30 years. If it's left this way, sunlight and even wind will be blocked out. The trees here, they're standing, but are dead. All of them.
Left untended for a long time, the forest is in a poor state, with trees rotted and broken. The ground has also become soft, heightening the risk of landslides and other natural disasters.
I think most mountains are like this. The owners inherited the mountains from grandfathers and fathers. And they've left for the cities and haven't gone to their mountains.
But among them are trees like this.
This one tree is about 5,000 yen. It still has parts that can be used as lumber.
From the perspective of an expert, within these untended forests, there are still many trees that can become money.
More than enough, because trees are still growing.
Mr. Nakahara says he can figure out the approximate price of a tree just by looking at it. Applying his years-long experience, he has collected data on how much lumber can be produced in the course of a tree's development. As long as he knows the quality and size of the tree, he can also forecast how much of a resource it will become over the next several decades. Mr. Nakahara believes this know-how can help save untended forests. He visits an IT firm in Gifu City called InfoFarm. Partnering with them, he developed a revolutionary system.
It's a system that will convert the mountain forests that people own into monetary value and calculate how much money they will generate.
Forest owners are provided by local governments with forest registers that include information on the type, age, and coverage area of trees. Mr. Nakahara developed a system that incorporates the forest register information and his own know-how to make asset values of forests more visible. For example, a mountain with an area of 1.5 hectares. The value of the wood from 60-year-old cedar trees is about 4.88 million yen. What's more, it can also calculate the cost of harvesting the trees. At this stage, if all of the trees are cut and sold, the owner would end up with a loss of 610,000 yen.
Anyone can find out how much the total will be. You can map out a strategy for forestry asset management.
With this system, it's also possible to simulate how long it will take to achieve a positive balance if a forest is continually thinned. An opportunity has arrived to put the system to use. Shigehiro Kunii is a business owner.
I haven't been able to tend to this area along the road. The mountain covers quite a big area, so I can't, even if I want to.
His company owns 13 hectares of forests. That's equivalent to approximately 10 soccer fields. But not knowing how much profit they could generate, he was unable to pay the cost of tending to them. So, Mr. Kunii asked InfoFarm to research the price of the forests.
Based on the forest register, we used our system to make an estimate. In total, it's 25,520,000 yen. That's a lot more than I imagined. I thought it would be a lot lower.
He appears surprised by the price.
It'll be easier to work out a business plan from now. Just holding it is like letting treasure rot away.
They also visit the forest to study the condition and derive a more accurate asset value. The survey is overseen by Mr. Nakahara and his team. They measure the width of the trees.
Cedar, 26 centimeters.
They also check the general condition of the forest and tree quality. They use devices like this as well. It's a drone. The drone is flown above the trees. The drone is used to find out the condition of trees that can't be seen from the ground. By knowing the leaf mass, they say they can predict how big a tree will grow.
This will make most forest owners change their perspective. Get them excited.
The visualization of forest assets is also drawing interest from financial institutions. The Juroku Bank serves the local community.
You can
I was surprised that most owners in Gifu Prefecture are individuals. When we actually tell them the monetary value, everyone is speechless. They had no clue about the situation and ask for our help.
The bank says lending to the forestry industry is one business it has been struggling to grow.
The range of uses of forests has expanded. Financial institutions like us also want to lend a hand in terms of business matchmaking.
Mr. Nakahara says he wants to spread this movement across the country.
Expanding the range of ways to effectively use forestry resources will lead to a revival of the industry. It's a mission that people in forestry who have the know-how need to carry out.